Hey everybody, my name is Justin Harrison, and it's a pleasure to be with you just for a few minutes to talk about doTERRA's financial plan. Super excited about this, super relevant, especially today, but really any day, anytime, and you're going to see why over the next few minutes. So to give some context, some history, a little over 12 years ago, like right now, our anniversary is April 25th, right? That's our 12-year anniversary as a company. And just prior to that, we spent hours and hours and hours studying how we should compensate us, the doTERRA wellness advocates, right? What is working, what's not working, what are the tried and true concepts? What you have in front of you now today is the result of all of that effort, and that is doTERRA's compensation plan. And you should know that everything that we have in our compensation plan model is proven, has a history, has a track record, even prior to doTERRA, but now 12 years of history behind us, documenting that it works. Now I'm super excited to share this with you. Here we are 12 years into this, and a lot of success and a lot of excitement, and we've never really had like an official doTERRA company sponsored and produced compensation plan video. Well, I am going to introduce that to you right now. These guys have worked hard at creating this. It's an introduction, mind you. It doesn't go in detail, in depth. We're going to do that after the video a little bit more, but it's a great taste as to the potential of what this business can generate and do for you. So let's roll the video.
The purpose of this video is to help you understand the doTERRA compensation plan. There are 5 basic ways you can earn commissions with doTERRA: through retail profit, which is earning the 25% difference between retail and wholesale pricing from your retail sales, or through a series of bonuses: Fast Start, Power of 3, Unilevel, and bonus pools. Before we begin, there is a common acronym you will hear throughout this video: PV. PV stands for personal volume. Every product is given a product or point value that is used in commission qualifications. Now let's take a look at each bonus. Number 1. Fast Start. Fast Start commissions are a great way to begin earning income from the very first day. Fast Start allows all wellness advocates to earn a bonus on new customer purchases. For each customer you enroll, doTERRA will pay you 20% of the PV on anything they purchase within their first 60 days. This includes their initial order. Fast Start bonus payments are made to 3 levels of enrollers. While the direct enroller of the new member earns 20% back, the next enroller up earns 10% back, and the next enroller up from there earns 5% back. Number 2, Power of 3. It works like this. If you place a 100 PV order on the Loyalty Rewards program, and 3 of your frontline achieve a minimum of 100 PV on the Loyalty Rewards program, all within a given month, and your total team volume exceeds 600 PV, doTERRA will pay you a bonus of $50. If you then help those 3 people on your first line earn the $50 bonus, then you will receive a $250 bonus. Now, if you help their teams also achieve the same $50, giving your first line each the $250 bonus, your bonus will increase to $1,500. Note that your team volume is the total combined PV of you and your entire frontline. Here's another graphic to explain. You earn $50 for your first level, $250 for your second level, and $1,500 for your third level. Number 3, Unilevel. doTERRA's main bonus is called the Unilevel Organizational Bonus. It is the most generous and unique plan available. After 60 days, all accounts are placed in a Unilevel system, and you earn an increasing rate of commission on each level down through 7 levels based on order volume. You will earn 2% on the first level and continue to earn more throughout up until the 7th level, where you earn 7%. Most other compensation plans start you out on a higher percentage at the beginning, and as levels deepen, you earn a lower percentage, meaning, overall, less income for you. Unlike many other compensation plans, with doTERRA, you actually make the most on the most and the least on the least. Number 4, bonus pools. Bonus pool shares are available monthly to those who rank Premier and above. Each bonus pool is made up of a percentage of the global commissionable volume for the payout month. This means that each month, the total from each bonus pools is split into equal shares, which are then paid to qualified wellness advocates. The amount that you can earn from these pools depends on the rank that you achieve in a given month. To summarize, there are 5 basic ways to generate income with doTERRA: retail profit, fast start, power of 3, unilevel, and bonus pools. You can start earning immediately and on a weekly basis when embracing the fast start bonus. Unilevel commissions are paid out 7 levels, increasing your percentage earned the deeper you go. Dynamic compression ensures that every order pays out on 7 levels to the first qualifying uplines. Building a residual income with doTERRA is helped by a 65% customer retention rate, far exceeding the direct sales industry average. This means that once you build your business, it makes it more feasible to both maintain and grow. doTERRA's mission is to empower every individual. Our compensation plan truly rewards people with products that they want and need in their everyday life. Our mission is to change the world, one drop, one person, one community at a time.
Did you guys love that? I'm so excited about it. I hope that this will just be used like crazy and spread all over the internet, emailed to anyone and everybody that has an interest in our business model. And then when they want to know more, you can have that discussion with them and get into the nitty-gritty and the details. So we're going to do a little bit of a deeper dive into the compensation plan. A few things I do want to point out as we're chatting here is that first, the difference between an enroller and sponsor, because this is very important, as many of you realize. Enroller, I like to reference the enroller as that's the person that introduced the new member, customer wellness advocate, to doTERRA. They brought them into the family, right? They did the work. They enrolled them into our company, into our wellness lifestyle, right? And the sponsor is typically the same person very often, but not always. So if like in this example, if I meet Amanda, I'm her enroller, right? I brought her in, but for whatever reason, I feel like she's going to work well with Teresa. Maybe they live in the same area or have a similar background or whatever it is, whatever the reason, I can choose to sponsor or place Amanda underneath Teresa so that she'll have greater support in building her business, right? And so in this scenario, Teresa would be the sponsor, but I would still be the enroller. So it's important to know the difference because when people do enroll, they are asked that question, right? One of the great things about sponsor is the company gives us a 14-day window that if we aren't sure where we want to sponsor or place someone in our team, we can make that decision right in our virtual office in that first 14 days after they enroll. So that's a huge benefit that is not something that other companies offer. It's a doTERRA perk. It's amazing. First way we're compensated. The video went through all the different ways. Retail, I'm not going to go into heavily. It's a 25% markup from wholesale, comes in your monthly commission check, and it's all done virtually. People shop on your website, and that money comes to you. Or you can actually retail the product personally and that 25% markup right then when someone purchases the product from you. So either of those are great ways to benefit from retail. Fast Start is really amazing for helping people get some cash flow now, right? Fast Start is calculated every single week. It's paid on the new purchases made by anyone that's enrolled within their first 60-day period. So in their first 60 days of enrollment, whatever they purchase is going to get compensated up to their enroller. So whoever enrolled them is going to get 20%. Whoever enrolled that person is going to get 10, and whoever enrolled that person is going to get 5. So it's a 20-10-5 payout, happens every single week. After 60 days, so after the new member hits day 61, anything they purchase actually gets paid to you in the unilevel plan, which we'll talk about in a second. Now, to play in Fast Start, this is very important. You personally need to be enrolled in the Loyalty Rewards program for at least 100 PV, okay? You have to have a template set up for at least 100 PV. If you don't, even if it's 98 PV, you will miss this money. And it pains me when I see that happen, and I do see that happen from time to time. And so not only for ourselves to make sure we never go below 100, but also to make sure that our new people, as they're getting started, know so that they never go below 100 as well. This is paid out every single Wednesday on the prior week's production. This is a great way to know what kind of new activities going on in your team. If your Fast Starts are increasing and they're going up, you know there's lots of good enrollment activity happening in your organization. If there's not a lot of fast fire money coming in, well, then you also know what's happening, or better said, what's not happening in your organization, right? Okay, power of three is so important and so wonderful. I love this bonus. This was very strategically put together in the very beginning, and I'm going to show you why here in just a moment. So in a nutshell, it's this. We want to create this pod, if you will, or this me plus three, we like to call it. So here's you in the middle. You, of course, are doing your own LRP order of at least 100. We recommend 150 or more just to play safe. But it has to be at least 100. And you have to have 3 frontline team members also doing the same thing. We got to have at least 600 between all of us. And any month that this picture is in place, it's a $50 bonus to you. Now, you can have more than 3 people on the front line. There's no limit, but you need to have at least 3 that are on LRP for 100 PV, and it generates this bonus. Now, this is the most important part to understand, because that is the key to all of the others. Because now if I have my 3, now we go out and we work with them to develop their 3, and when they are getting their $50 bonus, my bonus jumps up to $250. And the next step, now we're working with our 3 to help them get their $250, and when they're all getting their $250, then our bonus changes to $1,500. And that's where it starts to get really fun. Now, we have observed that this is critically important in helping new business become solid and new builders become solid. To really make that point, we need to talk about this number. And what is this number? Does anyone know? Just shout really loud at your computer. I won't hear you, but we'll pretend. This is 34%. I love that. I'll ask people, what's this number? And someone always says 34%. And they're right. That's what it is. It's actually the number, it's the total of all of the unilevel percentages added up together. So the unilevel is our long-term residual income. It is by far the most exciting part of our whole commission structure, of our whole plan. And it works like this. Well, first, the perspective. I love this this cartoon. One person is looking at these blocks on the floor, and one person is saying that there's 4 of them, and the other person is saying there's 3 of them, and they're both right, just depending on their perspective. And that's sometimes how the unit level can feel. And so I'm going to bring some clarity to that for us here in a second. So here is the unit level bonus structure in a nutshell. And you see all of the ranks here at the top: consultant, manager, all the way up through silver, diamond, presidential diamond. And the monthly PV requirement never goes above 100. The volume requirements up through Premier hit 5,000, and then it stops there and becomes team requirement or leg requirement, right? So at Premier, we need 2 executive legs. At Silver, we need 3 elite legs. At Gold is 3 Premiers. At Platinum is 3 Silvers. And then at Diamond, it jumps to 4. And then it's 5 for Gold and 6 for Platinum. The levels of payout, you'll notice they start out as a 2 on the front level. And it's 2, 3, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7. I've had people come to me and be like, I only get 2% on my front line, but realize that's where the smallest number of people will be, and the largest number of people will be down deeper on the bottom, right? So it really helps if, instead of looking at your unilevel structure like this, like you're looking down, it's a lot actually more beneficial. The order, right? The order that's been placed, and how does that work? How does that compensate up the tree? Okay, instead of down, how does it compensate up? So it looks like this. So an order is placed here at the bottom, right? And then the computer says, well, that 2%'s got to be paid to somebody. Who's the first person qualified to get that? And it pays them. And then it looks for the next person to pay the 3 and the 5, the 5, the 6, the 6, and the 7. Love, 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 love this model, because it guarantees maximum payout to all of us, right? And it builds a really solid foundational income. And I'm going to come back and give you some examples of dynamic compression here in just a second. So our focus is on creating elites. If we can get good at creating elites, you will have massive success in this business. An elite is a person that has in their entire team, the whole team, including every person, every customer, every wellness advocate, 3,000 in organizational volume. Okay, there's no leg requirements. That could be between 50 people or 5 people, right? That the number of people doesn't matter. It's the total amount of sales. And so an elite is 3,000 OV. And then when you have 3 different teams or legs, we call them, that are elite, as you see here, then you become a silver. See how this works? And then once you become a silver, you want to duplicate that in your team and go out and create 4 team leaders that also become silver. And so you can see the domino effect here, right? That's exactly what this is. So the first domino is the 3,000 elite rank. Elites lead to silvers. Silvers lead to diamonds. And a diamond is where the fun money starts, especially in the unilevel. Okay? Now, time to administer an IQ test. Woo-hoo-hoo. Excited about this. I had this happen to me a number of years ago, and I'm going to call it my aha moment because it was, well, that's what it was. It was an aha moment. So here you go. Looking at the structure for the Power of 3 bonus. Okay, we talked about that already. The 3 by 3 by 3, right? Earn the 50, then earn the 250, earn the 1,500. If you structured it perfectly, which is never going to happen, right? It will never be perfect. Some people will order more, some will order less. Some people will have more people, some people will have fewer people. But just for a model, we got to have a model. This is about this is 40 people if you structured it perfectly. And we're going to say that they're doing 150 PV each, which again, some are going to do more, some are going to do less. That's 6,000 PV. So that 6,000 PV is going to generate for you the $1,500 bonus. Okay, makes sense? So now what happens if we take the unilevel part of our commission plan that we just talked about and we average, so drop the 2 and the 3, drop the 6 and the 7, and let's just go with 5s. Okay, 5% average for easy math. How much sales do I need to generate in my team, just talking the unilevel at 5%, to generate that same $1,500 bonus? Here's the aha. It's 30,000 PV to make 15. So guys, here's the IQ test, right? Which should I focus on for quickest return on my investment of time and energy and effort in building my business? Should I focus on 6,000 PV or 30,000 PV? Now, here's the great thing. You get both. That's the beautiful part. You don't have to choose between the unilevel or the Power 3. The company pays you both, but I highly, highly recommend focusing here on the 6,000, right? Focusing here, get your Power 3 structure in place, get it solid, and it's gonna give you that income while building to a larger rank that generates even more income. Now, we have seen, we have observed, we have the data. Corporate has the data. Dave Sterling and I have talked about this many times. He's talked about it from stage. I've talked about it from stage. It's $1 million. So $1 million pool being split by however many people are in the pool becomes a significant amount of money. So this is an exciting way to add to our compensation each month and to benefit from the global growth of the company. Now, I really appreciate this chart because it shows you what is real, what is possible, and the amount of time, energy, and effort required to achieve what you see on this chart. So you see on the left the rank, and then the time commitment per week to achieve that rank, the average number of months to achieve that rank, how much time per week to maintain it, and then the average monthly income and the expected income when you're new to that rank. And I especially appreciate that because sometimes people will not realize there's a difference in paycheck based on the size of the team, right? If we have someone who's has been with the company for many years and yet their rank is the same as someone who's been with the company for only a few months, there's going to be a difference in paycheck because there's a difference in team size and difference in sales, right? And so come down to what are we committed to in our business. And quite honestly, my friends, my observation has been this: if you want a serious run at this, supplementing your income, replacing your income, whatever it is, we got to have 15 hours a week. Okay, 15 hours a week of productivity, 15 hours a week of rainmaker activities, right? Things that produce results, getting oils on people, teaching people, following up with people, educating people on all the amazing benefits. And the timing right now is greater than ever before, ever before. 12 years ago when we started doTERRA, we started in the Great Recession. People were losing their homes, people were losing businesses, everything was bleak. People told us we were crazy for starting a company during the recession, you're gonna lose everything. We put everything on the line. The owners of doTERRA put everything on the line. Those that got started in the very beginning as wellness advocates, we put everything on the line. And it was the perfect time to start doTERRA because not only do people need our product, just like today, people need our product, right? There's no question about that. But also people need our business more than ever today because they're looking for ways to supplement or replace income that maybe they once had. So timing right now for doTERRA 2.0 is phenomenal. So go out and grab it. Thanks for being with us today.
Hello. So I had a few requests to actually film my portion of this presentation outside. I think a lot of us just probably need to get outside and take a big deep breath and realize that we are so blessed. I'm really, really excited to share my words with you today. It's something that I feel incredibly passionately about. So I'm Kirsten Kirschbaum. I live in Hawaii with my husband Kyle and our 5 boys. So we're raising them wild on the beach. But I want to bring you into my world a little bit and show you the way that I have structured my life to become financially secure, how I teach my children to do the same, how my parents taught me to do that, and how working with doTERRA has truly been this perfect puzzle piece in the financial security that
each of us can create in our own lives. So come with me as I bring you to my dining room table here. This is actually a picture of me with my 5 children. As you can see, we are playing a game. I think it's really valuable for us to learn together, having fun and playing games. And as you and I talk today, we'll play a little game called Your Freedom Factor. But what my children and I are playing here is called the game of cash flow. And if you played it before, you kind of know that the object of the game is to become financially free, right? And how do you become financially free? Well, I'm going to tell you all that in just a minute. But the first step in this game, as it relates also to the first step in our lives, right, is to choose your pathway. So I'll tell you what, my 2 boys that are sitting close to me there on my left side, they both chose the financial pathway of being NBA All-Star players. So you may see them in the future playing basketball. The one across with the blue shirt on, that is my gamer, and he's convinced that he will be a professional YouTuber and video game programmer. I have no doubt he will fulfill those dreams. My oldest son, there pictured in the black, he's been around long enough and has witnessed his parents create financial security and freedom by building doTERRA. So he chose the path of doTERRA for his career. And the little one there passed out on the table. Maybe, just maybe, some of you feel like you are passed out on a table right now, and really you just need someone to pick your career for you and tell you exactly what to do and really play your game for you, right? And that's okay. I think we've all been there. But what I want you to understand, the object of this game, the object of what I teach my children, what I teach my team, what you need to know in choosing a financial pathway is, how can you become financially independent and secure? I think now more than ever, right? Security, it's what we're all seeking. It's someone to tell us that it's going to be okay. And really, it's more about us telling ourselves that it's going to be okay, because we are that confident in the career pathway that we have chosen. So by the end of this presentation, there's going to be 3 things that you learn. So number 1, we will determine your freedom factor together. I'll show you how to do that. The second thing, we will go over some popular options. I think it's a valuable conversation for us to have, where we look at maybe some of the things you've tried, some of the things that your friends are trying, and some of the best ways to actually create financial security and abundance in your life. And the last thing is, we will discuss and show you the power of true residual income. Okay, so let's jump right in to your freedom factor. Now, I'm going to help you determine your own freedom factor, but first, just so you know, really the goal in any career path is to create an asset that produces enough income for you each month to cover your expenses and hopefully more, right? So this is your freedom factor. Now let's determine your freedom factor. Let's ask a couple questions while we figure this out together, okay? So number 1, I want you to really think about your life right now and ask yourself, when do you want to be financially free? Now, I know the obvious answer is like, yesterday, actually, or 2 weeks ago would have been nice, right? But realistically, with putting all your efforts into a business, into something you're going to really do, when can you expect to be financially free? Okay, so you just decide which one of those things you want. So question number 2, how much money monthly do you actually need to create to become financially free? So what I mean by this, I want you to just take a second and write down all of your monthly expenses. Okay, so this is going to be your rent payment or your mortgage payment, any utility payments, car payments, insurance, gas, food, obligations like that, right? If you've got some absolute must-haves in there, put them in there. So this is your monthly expenses. So, somewhere between 2 and 5, maybe 50 to 100, somewhere in between there. So go ahead and choose that, okay? So next thing is this. This is where it gets fun. What I want you to do is multiply your answer from question number 2 by 200. So let's just say, for example, you chose $5,000. So you need a minimum of $5,000 a month, every single month, to come in, whether you're working, whether you're not working. Like, you got to have $5,000 to be able to survive, right? You take that amount and you times it by 200. Okay, so this actually gives you the amount that you would need to invest at 6% interest monthly to receive your monthly income. If you chose 5,000, for example, you would need to invest 1 million, because 5,000 times 200 equals 1 million, right? So $1 million, if you have that invested into like a retirement account or something like that at a very conservative 6%, will create $60,000 a year in interest that you are living off of. That's your residual income, right? And if you divide 12 months, divide that by 12 months, that gives you your 5,000 a month. Okay? So think about that answer, and think about, if your number was 5,000, for example, what is your plan? Well, first of all, do you already have $1 million invested? Maybe you do, right? But I would dare say that most of us don't. In fact, statistically speaking, most people don't. So what's your plan to accumulate this money? Now, how much money do you think you'd have to save every month over the next 5 years to actually save $1 million? What do you guys think? Ding, ding, ding. The answer is actually $16,000. So that is actually, you would have to save $16,000 a month to get to $1 million in the bank. Again, invested conservatively at 6% to generate a $5,000 a month income. That would be your asset that is generating that residual income. So I want to talk now about some of the ways that you might choose to create this residual income. Right now, traditionally speaking, I think most of us have experienced being an employee, right? And so, that's basically where you have a job, and your income is really determined by your effort, your dollars you receive for the hours that you give. Pretty easy to understand, right? I think most of us here have either had a job or have a job, but we're also looking for that side hustle, right? That way that somehow we're going to be able to create an additional income. So a lot of us turn to being self-employed, right? And I have a lot of friends that do this. So many friends of mine are coaches and yoga teachers and health and business coaches, chiropractors, wellness professionals. I mean, there's a lot of options. In fact, my father is self-employed. He sells used cars, and I grew up on his car lot learning how to sell cars in that way. He's always really happy about working for himself. But if someone wants to buy a car at any time, day or night, Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever it may be, he's the guy that has to go sell that car, right? So even when you're self-employed, you really own a job, and it still is very much an effort-based income. So let's kind of transition now to becoming a business owner and moving more into some asset creating income. So as a business owner, in the beginning, it probably still feels like you own a job, right? But if you work it right and you create systems and you have a team of people who are on your side and you guys are doing this together, you can actually become a business owner where you own a system and people do work for you. So there are some benefits to that. However, I have been a business owner with my husband, Kyle, for many years, and I got to tell you, the liability and the stress of owning that business that generated about the same amount of money I make with doTERRA now, but with about 500 employees and massive liability, I wouldn't wish that on very many people. I think it's a very stressful way to live life. However, there is some good production that comes out of that, right? The fourth category here is really becoming an investor and creating assets that generate income for you, really whether you're working or whether you're not, right? We won't spend too much time in that category today, as it doesn't apply at this exact moment for you. However, I do think it's amazing to get to a place where you have enough income generated that you do have that discretionary income to become an investor. So definitely an exciting category to discuss another time. What I want to do with you guys for the rest of our time together is to spend time looking at comparing a few of your options: a self-employed business owner versus a regular business owner versus a doTERRA business owner, okay? And so as a self-employed business owner, you've got 100% of your own efforts, right? And that's how you generate your income. You own a job, as I said before. Your time equals your money. You really have only 100% of your efforts, right? Which some people really like, but again, it doesn't create any time freedom. You really have no leverage there, and you start over at zero every single month. So you've got to keep selling in order to create profits. And most of these businesses don't have a residual income. So if we compare this to being a doTERRA entrepreneur, we've got me with 100 of my team members, right? And growing, each giving our best. But even if we just had 1% of our efforts every single day, 1% of my effort times 100 people is still 100% of all of our efforts, right? It's this really beautiful team thing where you times all the people in your organization is what equals your income. And you have a system, a product, and a service that people really love working with you, right? There's really exponential growth that exists here, and you get the max leverage of your time with absolute residual income and that time freedom and security, right? So I just wanted to talk quickly about some popular options. Now, in preparation for this presentation, I actually interviewed a lot of yoga teachers, health coaches, chiropractors, amazing women and men who host retreats and, detox programs and sell their coaching packages and all those things. And in fact, a lot of them still have to drive for Uber just to make ends meet. And we do what we got to do, right? I totally get it. Like, we got to make ends meet. But any way you look at it, we're all looking for customers, and customers who actually want to engage with us and exchange with us, and hoping that those customers actually have money to spend on these services, right? And we have to really take a look at our service is essential, especially in an economy like right now. Will we be able to withstand when people have to start deleting things from what they can do, right? And do we have a product that is so helpful and so needful in a time of economic crisis? It's really kind of interesting to look at what you're putting your time into, right? So I want to shift also real quickly into being a business owner. And, as a business owner, you actually do have the leverage of people. You times the people does equal your income. You've got a lot of growth potential here, but it's limited to the amount that you can spend, right? You want to, open new offices, get new phone systems, expand new call centers, however you want to do it. That's going to take a lot of resources. There's a massive, massive investment and overhead in running a large enough business that will create the type of income that you really want. And you've got a lot of high liability. You are completely responsible for the merchant accounts, the shipping, the insurance, really low leverage of time. And it's hard work, a lot of stress. And I've lived that life. So I want to compare it to, again, being a doTERRA entrepreneur is like the best of both worlds. It's like you get to be a solo entrepreneur and a business owner with systems. You still get to leverage you and your team, which equals your income. There's exponential growth. You've got $100 a month minimum overhead, which is not a lot if you think about it being a real business, right? You have a system, a product, and a service that helps people. You really have little to no liability, which is pretty amazing. doTERRA kind of takes all of that on for us, right? And you've got residual income. And really the most important thing to me is the ability to pass on my knowledge and help other people do what I'm doing. There's a quick example here. I mean, you could own Pizza Hut right now, which I imagine is doing pretty well, where lots of people are ordering takeout pizza, because we can't leave our homes. But there's such a massive upfront cost with that. And, the profits are really between $50,000 and $100,000 a year. So it's interesting to look at how much you want to put into something to spend your time and your resources and your money, and what are you going to get out of it? And, the good news is some people have actually found an easier way to create $5,000 a month and to live off that, right? That residual income. So I want to talk to you now really about the point. Earning a residual income is really like earning interest on money in the bank, right? So I want to show you what this actually equals. So just being elite, and I don't want to say just, because being elite is amazing. So if you have achieved the rank of elite and you are seeing, on average between, $200 and $400 a month or something coming in, did you know that that is actually the same as having $48,000 in the bank at 6% interest? So you might say, oh, I'm just an elite, but you could also say that you have created an asset that is paying you the same as having $48,000 in the bank. So how long would it take you to save and that is save $48,000 that would pay you that residual income? So becoming a premier is like even better. When you look at it this way, can you see the security and the abundance that is created? How long would it take you to save $100,000 to create a premier income? This shows you some other possibilities of what it looks like to get paid as a premier. And here's silver. So again, if you're silver and you just qualified for leadership, and I'm sorry that Arizona kind of shut us down. That wasn't cool, but we're just staying safe and positive, right? But if you're just that brand new silver and you've created an asset, do you understand what you have? It's amazing. It's the difference really between earning an income and creating an asset income. And I just want you to really understand what it is that you have created here and what you can help other people create too. So this goes on, of course, really moving into having assets. So there's that magical number, having $1 million in the bank, right? That generates on average, again, about $5,000 a month. That looks like a gold or platinum income for you. So when you think about creating a gold income, what you're really doing is talking about generating an asset that is like having $1 million in the bank at 6% invested conservatively, right? And you have the option to help so many other people do the same. It's just amazing. So you can see here how powerful it is and how many people actually achieve just like saving $48,000 in the bank, creating an elite income in their first 2 to 3 months. It's just really, really cool to understand the power of residual income, to understand the security that is created by generating this asset and then teaching other people to do the same. I honestly can't think of a better way to create financial freedom in your life. And really, just to kind of break it down a little bit more for you, just earning your $50 Power of 3 bonus is the same as having $12,000 in the bank. So when you think about like, oh, I got my Power of 3 this month, like, yeah, it's also like adding $12,000 to your bank account that pays you at 6% interest residually. It's just fun. It's fun to think about it that way. So as you're building your business to that residual $5,000 a month, if that was your freedom factor. Now, if your freedom factor was less or more than that, then you can gauge accordingly, right? But it really is like doTERRA depositing $16,000 a month for the next 5 years. It's going to keep going after that. Don't underestimate the power of what you have already created with this business. It is amazing, and it will continue growing and growing forever. The biggest blessing, the absolute best part of what I get to do is to help other people do the same thing. I am incredibly grateful for visionary and loving mentors, like you can see here, my lovely Melina Harrison, who had enough faith in me to share the power of residual income and helping others and creating a massive impact around the world. That is the opportunity that exists for you right now. I hope you will come along with us. If you were maybe questioning if it's for you or you're not really sure, I'm telling you right now, there is nothing that is creating more security in my heart, in my mind, in my world, in my community right now than the residual income that we have created and the ability to build teams of educated, conscious, awake entrepreneurs around the world. It's amazing. And I haven't ever witnessed another kind of business that you could pass on your knowledge so easily to others to help them create the same thing. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. Your business partners are even more excited to see you succeed. I'm like a proud mama at a graduation when I see my amazing team members achieving what they set out to do. And I know that each of you guys can do that too. So I've chosen doTERRA and network marketing. I know that many of you have as well. It is absolutely one of the fastest ways to your freedom factor. There's a minimum operating cost of like $100, maybe $200 on some months, right? Every month. Really, there's an ability, it's a level playing field for anybody to build a multi-million-dollar asset. There is a proven roadmap to success. We don't hide that roadmap from you. In fact, we just blast it all over on all of our team pages and our websites. We want you to have all of our secrets, right? You have wealth with freedom, and there's nothing better than that. You have success without overwhelming liabilities. And when you have that freedom from those liabilities, you get to make better decisions about how you conduct your life and business. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And you really have that fulfillment of seeing others share in your success. There will be a lot of hard work and personal development, probably a lot more than you've ever done in your entire life, but you will see the fruits of your labor. You will realize that you've been prepared for this moment. And to create residual income in this way it's your right to do that. And I'm excited for you. We are going to be creating amazing things here. And I'm just really honored to be sharing this journey with you. Take care.